Yeah, I was gonna ask, is there anything you want to say, like, as a last remark to, like, our listeners, like, any specific listeners you want to say anything to, or, yeah, in terms of, like, thinking about, like, in terms of anything, but now that I'm speaking and coming up with all these thoughts, I'm thinking about, like, what personal role, like, people have in terms of, like, buying into this or being marked against and, like, stuff like that. If there's anything you want to say specifically.
Populations.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I guess one thing I've been thinking through with this is, like, yeah, I mean, I think for white women who are interested in feminism and, like, who are interested in, like, challenging racism, I think we really need to think about, like, you know, looking at, like, how we can build solidarity with women of color, and, like, and I think that really looks at, like, you know, what historically have we, like, bought into when we were trying to claim power as women. It was always trying to claim power as white women, and just trying to look at, like, you know, how have we learned that, like, what we need to be focusing our protest on is, like, you know, women being, like, untouchable, or women being overprotected, and, like, okay, that's true, but, like, what's under the surface there is that means, like, white women, usually it's, like, under the surface there. So for us to just step back and think about, like, you know, looking at the ways that, like, all women, and, like, differently because of race and class, you know, what we're targeted by, and, like, I think it means, like, shifting our focus and not, yeah, and I guess that's one thing I wanted to say, and, just think about, like, yeah, what are these artists playing into, because, like, I was just trying to connect it back to, like, this amazing Sager panel about queer activism, and these
Such
organizers, so good, feeding my soul, it's still, it's gonna be on YouTube soon, so we'll let you know about that. Just talking about, like, you know, how we really need to take a look at ourselves and what's happening inside ourselves, and they kind of broke down, like, what neoliberalism means, and I can't really do that for you.
In a really amazing way.
Amazing way, and I can't do that for you or with you yet, listeners, but I'm getting there. And let's talk about, like, what does it mean if we are learning to, like, you know, not just, like, participate outwardly in this, but think about, like, our lives in privatized ways and our relationships in privatized ways, and just for us to think about, like, you know, we might be able to think of ourselves operating as individuals in this world, but we're not. And, like, if I, as a white woman, I'm saying, you know, I'm untouchable, it's playing into a whole history, and it's being complicit with a whole history and current power structure that's targeting women of color. And, like, is that what we want to be doing? And trying to build a movement? No, it's not what we're doing, right? That is not what we're doing. We're moving towards justice. So, yeah, I don't know. Thank you for, like, just looking at these songs. I'm like, wow, giving me lots to think through. And, yeah, so that's what I'm
really
about.
good.
I know I said that was the last question, but as you were speaking, I thought of one last question. Do you think that there can be, like, feminism, like, without, like, having these serious questions, or, like, do you think, like, we need a new feminism, or, like, because the old feminism is, like, too imbued with all these things and, like, the history? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Let's see. Well, I think it's complicated. I'm having trouble answering because...
a big question.
No, but it's fun to think about, but, like, I also feel like, you know, I hope the answer and what happens moving forward comes out, like, of a lot of people's answers, so I don't necessarily feel like I want to, you know, say this is what I want to see happen, but I can say that and add it to, like, the many voices that I hope are shaping what does happen, and I guess, I don't know, because I know that the word feminism both has a lot of power for many women, and also, like, a lot of pain and histories of oppression within that, so I think, yeah, I don't quite know, because I also feel like, you know, that word has had a lot of, like, thinking this personally, like, that word feminism has had a lot of power for me growing up, but, like, what are the ways that, like, the ways it was empowering to me were because I was a white upper middle class woman, so that it spoke to my experience. So I think, just thinking through for me, I think I want to be open to, like, holding on to some of the things I learned through that word, but also maybe letting it go if it turns out there's something that's like more strategically useful that applies to more women's experience. It centers like the most marginalized women's experience, not mine. So I guess that's what I'm thinking through, but I don't know.
That was a really amazing way to answer the question.
That was so good, Claire.
Thanks, Claire, so much. That was Claire Galpern.
Listeners, you should call in because I want to hear from you.
Yeah. Quick thing, there's an event.
Oh, right. If you want to continue.
Oh.
Yeah.
This group I'm part of is hosting an event.
What group?
What event?
Yeah. It's called Making Whiteness Visible. It's going to be, it's hosted by the White Women Confronting Racism group. Yeah, you could email us at wwcr@ccs.swarthmore.edu. And the event is Monday night at 9 in Colberg, 2nd and 3rd floor. Just shout out, we'll find you if you can't find us. And it's called Making Whiteness Visible. We're trying to be thinking through these questions and also just have space, like if you have questions, concerns about the group, to come ask them. Yeah.
Okay. Coolness. Thank you so much. And now we are going to play the song that prompted all of this, Untouched by the Veronicas.
That was really good.
Claire, that was so good.
I'm serious.
That was so good. Yay. You're such a good guest star. Oh my God.
I feel so good.
And I think it works really well with God.
Yeah.
That was all good together.
You're so ridiculous. You're not so low in the
And I need you so much. See you, breathe you, I want to be you. La la la, la la la. You can take time to live.
I really don't like this song. Do you know I like their earlier songs.
I like them too.
Don't even think about it. In the end, it's only you and me, and no one else is gonna be around to answer my questions.
Stable.
Oh, I like that photo.
No, I can tell that you don't. Stable.
Feel so untouched and
Stable.
just
Oh my God.
text you. Sad enough to say that I miss you. I feel so untouched right now.
Stable. Oh my God, you're so good.
Wait, hang down. Wait, no, one thing. How do I take pictures? It's like mid-air. Oh, what's our last song?
Yeah, it's good though.
Yeah, that's so good.
And it was like a good